I'm Ann Karrick, and I'm here with Alexander Andriulli, who you should know because you put together the whole event this year, so almost, not quite. Yeah, a little help, right?
A little help.
A little bit of help, okay.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for taking a few minutes to sit down and talk to us. Let's start with your company, Valentino Pictures. What's new and exciting with Valentino?
It's a whole brand new endeavor. I've been doing projects for other people and associate producing projects in Connecticut for a couple of years now, and I decided to get into the game of doing my own projects. Barry Katz was speaking earlier on a panel, and he was talking about how when you give up control, that's when things start to fall short in the project, where
and you're beholden to somebody else.
You're beholden to someone else, and it doesn't really ring true. It's not the original artist's vision, the writer's vision, and it becomes something of its own beast. And I kind of decided, why wait around for projects to come to me that I'm really excited about? Why not create a project that I think other people would be excited about? So I'm doing, the company. I'm doing web series. I'm doing digital content creation and commercials, and really trying to tell a story. Everybody loves a great story, and that's my tagline for the business.
And how long have you been working with the new company that you put together?
January of this year.
Oh,
so brand new.
So you're still underwater, or trying to get everything done as far as there's never enough hours in the day.
Yeah. I mean, we just started shooting 3 episodes of this web series, this horror-based web series I'm doing that's coming out in January of next year, 2014, and we're just taking our time with it. It's something that when you horror, you have to get that tone right, and it harkens back to things like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark and Tales from the Dark Side, these other episodic things that you can really jump into each episode and not have to watch the whole series to get it. You're just enjoying that one individual episode.
But that's good, because it's great to have a story that goes one to the next, but then you lose people.
Sure.
If they miss the first two, they feel like they have no idea what's going on.
And I feel like the episodic web series is great because, it's really fits with people's attention span and need for content that's short, because there's just so... you don't have to, not everybody has time. Not saying everybody has a short attention span. I'm just saying not everybody really wants to sit and watch a 2-hour film continuously. And there's a plethora of films out there. It's endless. On top of that, all this other stuff that you're competing against, having a shorter project, a shorter episode for people to watch is being respectful of the audience's time, that they don't have a lot of time to watch a longer project.
Right. Are there big differences in doing a web series versus some of the other projects you've worked on in the past?
I don't think so. I think that the only difference is that it's bite-sized. It's a lot more approachable budget-wise. It's a lot more approachable from a writer's perspective. Writing a feature-length narrative or any kind of feature-length script is extremely difficult. Anybody who thinks it's easy is lying to themselves, because it's a really, really difficult thing. You look at any Hollywood film out there, most Hollywood films will fall apart in a third act because they got their finance before they finish writing it. And so once it finally gets out to the theaters, they know they have the star power, they have you in the seat.
Right.
And that's it. You paid your money. It's like chewing a piece of bubble gum and you're done with it, and you're never going to watch it again. Whereas a really great story has longevity. And that was my epiphany as I was talking to Ann Andriulli, my wife, who's a production designer for synthetic cinema right now. And I was like, I really would love to do something. And she says, well, then do it. And then I was thinking about somebody else's project, and she says, why don't you just do that for yourself? And then I just started to write.
Was that like a light bulb for you?
It was. I literally
do it for myself.
I literally wrote like 10 episodes that night.
Wow.
And they're short, 8 to 10 minute episodes, and because they don't really require the other episode to really make this episode make sense, and each episode could be so different in a completely different, almost in a different genre. It makes it a lot easier for me to not feel like I'm stuck with these characters, and if I run out of things to say with them, or they're no longer interesting, what do I do with them? They can be disposable, or
they can just not be in the next episode.
They could die, or they could live on, or they could not show up for 5 or 6 episodes and they come back.
Well, I was going to say, you don't even have to write them out. They could just not be there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Now, what's the other information that's going on with the Diamond Rough?
Diamond Rough is a feature film that was shot in Hartford, Connecticut, and I associate produced with Neal, who's the co-executive director and founder of the FIM. And they're premiering in November 1st at the Bushnell, and it's really amazing to see this thing finally completed and out there and getting people's reaction. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Now, maybe it's a little too soon to ask you what you want to do as your next project, since you're still in the middle of this one, but I'll ask anyway.
Sure.
What are the things that you're looking, further into the future that you'd like to be doing? I mean, aside from the web series.
Yeah. I mean, I right now that's kind of my main focus, and I feel like what I originally wanted to do with the web series, and I wanted to name it after the company after the web series, so just kind of keep it together, and so people would think about the web series and the company at the same time. But then I decided to call it Valentino Pictures after my grandfather. Oh. And he actually passed away 2 weeks after my parents were married, and I never got to meet him, so it was kind of a way for me to connect with him. And I thought, this is great. It's called Valentino Pictures. It doesn't have to be all horror. So
Right.
there's a lot of things that I wanted to do in the fantasy realm, or even with puppetry, things kind of like the Dark Crystal or something that's a lot more epic and grand scale that you don't see a lot anymore. So if I ever were to do a really big passion project, that would be something very much in the vein of Dark Crystal that has practical puppetry and really pays homage to that beauty.
Okay. And how did you choose the horror genre first?
I think it's right now it's big.
Yeah,
It's
well,
really
that's true, that's
it's
true.
there's everything is mixing with horror.
Right.
You have Romeo and Juliet meets horror and everything else. It's all basically that right now. And everybody's watching all the horror films
That's
with
true.
right now, and a lot of it is Romeo and Juliet mashed up with horror, which is kind of popular now. But
Which out of context sounds very odd.
it does sound very odd, but you think about it with Twilight or Warm Bodies, it's all
Right.
basically Romeo and Juliet with with the zombies or with vampires, and that's really the big thing. So I feel like horror is really resonating with audiences, and that you're seeing now a lot of smaller budget features beating out big blockbusters. So I think that's really where the market is going right now, or
Yeah.
at least that's where it's staying. So I feel like this is a good time to jump in.
Right. You have probably a lot of people agreeing with you, because if you just look at television commercials, they've started to incorporate the Twilight type of
Yeah.
feel or
Yeah.
zombies into the television commercials. So that somebody has said, hey, somebody high up in some big company,
Sure.
that this is like the wave, let's get on it.
Definitely.
Kind of thing. So, and so before we run out of time completely, since you did so much work on this event itself, anything you wanted to share about that, because it's, from my perspective, it's been a great event so far this evening. So
I think we got some really amazing press. I really want to thank WCCC and all of our sponsors for getting involved in this event. And I really hope everybody enjoys the event and continues to enjoy the event, because our goal is not just to fluff our own projects and talk about it ad nauseum. It's more about putting a lot of focus on other people's projects and giving them a chance to talk to people and show their work and get that opportunity that normally they'd have to go and search out themselves, and bringing all that opportunity to them. So I
Yeah.
hope everybody continues to enjoy the event.
I hope they will, yeah. And are you making good connections, since it's all about networking?
I try to just be as like chill and not invasive as I can with everybody that's speaking tonight. I say hello, I say thank you very much,
Right.
and then I go about my business. And I feel like my work is going to be the thing that speaks highly about me, not me schmoozing and doing a little dog and pony show to get their attention.
Right.
I think people do respect that.
Sure.
And I do take that to heart, that if you have great work, that people will come and search you out. And that's why I'm going with the YouTube format, because it's an easy way for me to have people search me out and come and approach me for my work.
That's true. And you're getting to enjoy the event tonight, despite
Yes.
all the work you put in.
Yeah,
Good. That's
good.
that's important. That's
Checking
important.
out my wife in the panel next. So.
Okay, there you go. All right. Well, Alexander, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you. And thanks for all your work on this event. Great job.
Thank you.